Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. I was just reading one of my favorite books about medieval knights. I always find them to be very interesting. In fact, how about I take you on a little journey as we together learn more about the medieval knights? Well, a perfect way to start is by learning how a knight became a knight. So, let's begin there. Becoming a knight. Step one was becoming a page. Now at age 8, a boy was sent to his neighboring castle where he was trained as a page. While there, he spent a lot of his time gaining strength by wrestling and riding horses. Also, when he was there, he had a schoolmaster who taught him how to speak Latin and French. The lady at the castle would also teach him how to sing and dance, and how to behave in the king's court. At about age 15 or 16, the boy became a squire and was in service to a knight. There he would dress the knight in the morning, he would prepare the knight's meals, he would also take care of the horse by keeping it clean and grooming it. He would also wash the knight's armor and weapons. He would then assist the knight into battle and into tournaments as well. When he was about 20, a squire could become a knight by proving himself worthy. A lord would agree to knighting him in a dubbing ceremony. The night before the ceremony, the squire would dress himself in a white tunic and red robes. He would then fast and pray all night for the purification of his soul. The code of chivalry dictated that a knight should be brave and fearless in battle, but would also exhibit cultured knightly qualities, showing themselves to be devoted, loyal, courteous, and generous. Various ceremonies were attended, and oaths made before a man could even become a knight. The code of chivalry and moral systems, which went beyond rules of combat and introduced a concept of chivalrous conduct and courtly love. To help you better understand knights and their chivalry, I'll be reading you a small portion from this book, which discusses the knights' rules and expectations for them. Almost like a code, because it was a code. Silly me. So let's begin. Thou shalt believe that the church teaches, and shalt obey all her commandments. Thou shalt defend the church. Thou shalt respect all weaknesses, and shalt constitute thyself the defender of them. Thou shalt love the country in which thou wast born. Thou shalt not recoil before thine enemy. Thou shalt make war against the infidel, without cessation and without mercy. Thou shalt perform scrupulously thy feudal duties, if they be not contrary to the law of God. Thou shalt not ever lie. Thou shalt remain faithful to thy pledged word. Thou shalt be generous and give largesse to everyone, meaning great gifts to everyone. Thou shalt be everywhere and always the champion of the right and the good against injustice and evil. Those are just some of the examples that a knight had to live by. His word, his code that he had to live by every day. What a great example. Armor and weapons of medieval knights. At first, the armor was made of small metal rings called chainmail. A knight wore a linen shirt and a pair of pants as well as heavy woolen pads underneath the metal ringed tunic. A suit of chainmail could have more than 200,000 rings in it. However, chainmail was heavy, uncomfortable, and difficult to move in. As time passed, knights started covering themselves with plates of metal. They would cover their chest, their back, and their arms and legs. A helmet protected the knight's head as well. Suits of armor, although were hot, uncomfortable, and heavy to wear. A suit of armor could weigh anywhere from 40 to 60 pounds. Some knights even covered their horses in armor also. A knight's shield was made either of wood or metal. Knights decorated their shields with their family emblem or crest, and their family motto as well. A knight's weapon was his sword, but knights used other weapons as well. They used the metal axe, battle hammers, and maces were also used to defeat their enemies. Medieval knights and their tournaments. The medieval knight tournaments provided a means of knights to practice their warfare and build strength in times of peace. Various forms of combat were practiced at the tournaments, including jousting, archery, and hand-to-hand combat as well, using a sword, and other sorts of weapons. Well, I hope you learned a lot about medieval knights, and I hope you had a fun time, because I know I did. See you later. I'm done. That's it. Chivalrous conduct. Oh. Let's start over. Cultural. And the cold code. That small portion out of this book, which discusses bleh. To help you, wait, stop. That doesn't make sense. Constitute thyself, sorry.
Great. All loose.
Hello. Hey.